Well, we had a brief shower swing by this area about 90 minutes ago, but it's gone, and we've got mostly sunny skies here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field in Saskatoon. And we are ready for baseball on a Monday evening. It is the Western Canadian Baseball League, and it's the Saskatoon Berries playing host to the Swift Current 57s. Good evening. I'm Les Lazaruk. We welcome you to FloCollege's broadcast of today's game. As the Berries are on the field and ready to go, the Swift Current 57s will be first up to bat. 57s are off to a bit of a slow start this season. They've yet to win in 4 games, 2 of those on the road. They are 5th and last in the East Division as the early season gets going. On the other side, the Berries, 2 wins, 1 loss. They won their last 2 games after losing their opener last Thursday in Weyburn. They won their home opener here on Saturday night, 9-3 over the Regina Red Sox, and are tied for second in the East Division with the Red Sox behind the unbeaten Medicine Hat Mavericks. Quick look at the Berries in the field. In the outfield, first of all, from right to left, you have Ethan Murdoch in right field. Jalen Freeman is in center, and the left fielder is Turner Zadunik. Around the infield from left to right, third baseman is Cooper Westland. Shortstop is Nathan Houston. The second baseman is Abiam Medina. And the first baseman, Corey Waters. Balin Sorensen is the catcher. And the starting pitcher is Robert Bonilla. Robert Bonilla getting his first action in the Western Canadian Baseball League as a member of the Saskatoon Berries. Wears number 32. He's coming off his senior year at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. He's from El Paso. Right-hander, 6'2", 200 pounds. We have a delay as the third base umpire wasn't quite ready to go, but now he is. And stepping in is Ethan Bailey, the designated hitter for the 57s. And the first pitch is down and inside ball 1. We are underway at 7:02 on Monday evening. Bonilla from the stretch. 1-0 pitch is a called strike by home plate umpire Matt Shuley. Matt Shuley is the home plate umpire. At first base is Mark Clark. At second and third is crew chief Phil McGee. 1-1 pitch, high hopper taken at second base. The throw on to first in time. Nicely done by second baseman Abiam Medina to retire Ethan Bailey for out number 1. So Gus Cohn comes up now, the first baseman. Cohn, a left-handed hitter, hitting .273 early in the season, 3 hits and 11 at-bats. Has a run batted in. Bonilla. First offering to him is just outside. Ball 1. .1-0 pitch on the outside corner. A ball and a strike now to Cohn. Bonilla was 4-0 this past season at UTRGV. His 1-1 pitch is outside, ball 2. Most of his work in college this past winter was done out of the bullpen, but he is a starter here tonight for the Berries for Joe Carnahan. 2-1 pitch lifted in the air down the left field line. That will fall in for a base hit. Turning first and heading for second and getting in there will be Cohn with a 1-out double. And so a runner on first base, or on second base I should say, for the Swift Current 57s. And it'll bring up the number 3 hitter, shortstop Trig Mapes. Mapes will be looking for his first hit. He's playing in his 4th game with the 57s. No hits in 9 at-bats for the Great Falls, Montana product. First pitch from Bonilla is in for a strike. Mapes went to college at Trinidad State College, but he's a redshirt freshman, so he still really hasn't played college baseball. Here with the 57s, he fouls that off over top of the first base bleachers. And we have a ball and a strike, or a couple of strikes, I should say, on Trig Mapes. Just nicely underway. 1 out, runner on second for Swift Current in the top of the first inning. 0-2 pitch swung on, lifted into right field. This one's not overly well hit, and that will fall in behind the second baseman in front of the right fielder. Advancing to third is Gus Cohen, and Trig Mapes has his first hit of the season. A bloop single into right field. And so now the 57s have a threat here in the top of the first inning as they bring up their cleanup hitter, third baseman Brody Alexander. Alexander 2 for 15 in the early stages of the season at 133. Left-hand hitter. First pitch in for a strike. First and third, one away. Middle infielders at double play depth. Pitch outside, ball one. Vanilla basically comes right at you with the hard stuff from what we've seen so far out of his first few pitches. 1-1 delivery is in for strike two. That's a good spot, right at the knees. You could live there all day and do very well for the most part. 1-2 pitch. Up way outside, ball two, 2-2. Runner at first, Mapes, is dancing around, but not very far off the bag. Here's the 2-2 pitch upcoming. Swung on and missed, strike three. Big strikeout for Vanilla to get Brody Alexander 2 away now. And it'll bring up the number 5 hitter for Swift Current, the right fielder Donovan Borg. Right-handed hitting Borg from St. Clair, Michigan, coming off his senior year at Cameron University. Vanilla's first pitch inside, ball one. Mentioned Vanilla was 4-0 this past winter, but an ERA of 5.17. Down low and inside, just off the plate. 2-0 to Donovan Borg. Vanilla struck out 40 and walked 20 in 40 innings during the winter. There's a swing and a miss on a 2-0 fastball, and Borg swings through. It's 2-1. Borg hitting .294 early in the season, 5 for hits and 17 at-bats. And he gets hit with the 2-1 pitch, so that'll load up the bases for Swift Current here in the top of the first inning. A hit batsman. It'll bring up the catcher, Luis Ayala. Ayala, the catcher, playing for the third time in 5 games for Swift Current, and is off to a good start with 4 hits and 7 at-bats. 1 run scored. He also has the only stolen base for Swift Current through their first 4 games. But he's up here with the bases juiced in the top of the first inning, and looks at a called strike from Robert Bonilla. 0-1 pitch. Gets away from Sorensen to the backstop. Coming on the way home, Sorensen will toss it over to the pitcher, but sliding underneath the tag. It couldn't be made because Bonilla couldn't come up with the ball. And scoring on the play is Gus Cohen on a wild pitch. Runners move up base as well. We have runners at second and third with 2 gone. And a 1-0 lead here early for Swift Current. Couple of hits, a hit batsman, and a wild pitch. And now 1-1 the count on Luis Ayala. Bonilla looks in at Sorensen. Swing and a miss, strike 2. One and 2 the count on Luis Ayala. Second baseman Rydell Adair, the number 7 hitter in the Swift Current lineup, is on deck. 1-2 pitch down low. Slider that time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's the inning. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Robert Bonilla in his first inning of work in the Western Canadian Baseball League, but the Swift Current 57 score a run on 2 hits, no Saskatoon Berries errors, and 2 runners left on base. We're nicely underway here at the Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Swift Current leading 1-0 over the Saskatoon Berries, who are on their way to the plate. As you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. No, I didn't. Okay. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Ready to go here at the bottom of the first inning. Saskatoon Berries trailing 1-0 to the Swift Current 57s. 57s have Nkosi Ditter to start on the mound. He'll make his first appearance as a member of the Swift Current 57s. Ditter from Santa Cruz on the island of Aruba, coming off his sophomore year at Jackson State University. He'll face Jalen Freeman, the Berries leadoff man. Freeman fouls it back into the screen right by us for a strike. Jalen Freeman hitting 182 in the early going. 2 hits and 11 at-bats. He got those 2 hits in the home opener as he looks at a pitch down and away from Ditter, ball 1. Nathan Houston, the shortstop. Ethan Murdoch, the right fielder, will make their way at least to the plate for the Berries here in the bottom of the first as Freeman looks at another pitch down and away, 2-1. Freeman sends one down the third base line. Fair ball. Picked up in left field. Freeman makes a big wide turn, but hustling over to get the ball back into the infield and restrict him to just a single is the left fielder Braxton Vale. And so the Berries get their leadoff man on, and Freeman is definitely a threat to steal a base as he early in the season has stolen 4 times and has yet to be caught. Nathan Houston, the shortstop, is up now. Houston out of Melville, Saskatchewan. Freeman takes off first pitch. Throw down from Ayala. And they've got him. Freeman caught stealing as the second baseman comes across. That being Rydell Adair to apply the tag after the good throw by catcher Luis Adair. So quickly erased on the play is Jalen Freeman in the single. Now on the ground to the right side of the infield and through for Nathan Houston. So he'll get a single and replace Freeman at first base. As once again, the Berries get a base runner. It'll bring up Ethan Murdoch. Murdoch is from Swift Current, playing against his hometown team. Now a toss over to first. Oh, that was close. Houston was leaning towards second. And Ditter with a good toss over. Tag applied, but Houston able to just dive back in. He's got himself a pretty sizable lead out there at first. This one's well hit to left field by Murdoch. And you can kiss that baby goodbye. 2-run home run, the first of the season from a Saskatoon Berries player. And the Berries jump out on top here in the bottom of the first inning by a score of 2-1 as Ethan Murdoch unloads on a one-pitch fastball and sends it over the left center field fence here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Well tagged by Murdoch. All 3 hitters for the Berries have gotten on base safely. The only problem is that Jamal Freeman got thrown out trying to steal. But now it's Balin Sorensen, the cleanup hitter for the Berries. And first pitch, tried to check his swing, couldn't do so, takes a strike. Right back at it. This one's lifted into the air. Pop fly that the second baseman will get under, and Rydell Adair makes the catch for the second out. So 2 away for the Berries here in the bottom of the first inning. Bring up the number 5 hitter, Abiyam Medina. Abiyam Medina hitting .222 coming into tonight, 2 for 9. And a team leading 4 runs batted in. First pitch swinging, fouls it back, strike 1. Pat Janik's out running down those balls. Here's Ditter ready to go. Up high, ball 1. Abiyam Medina out of Ponce, Puerto Rico. 1-1 pitch line back up the middle. That'll be a base hit. 4th hit of the half inning for the Berries. Both sides getting on the bats here early in this game. So now the number 6 hitter, Cooper Westland, will come to the plate. Westland comes into the game with the best average on the Berries through the first 3 games, hitting .357. 5 hits and 14 at-bats, a couple of RBI for him. And in the inside corner, a called strike. Ready to go with the 1 strike pitch, and this is fouled off down the third baseline. And quickly ahead is the Cozy Ditter, 2 strikes up on Cooper Westland. Westland out of Lincoln, Nebraska, coming off his junior year at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Check over on Abiam Medina. Easily back to the bag. Ditter ready to pitch to Cooper Westland. 2 strikes. Fouled back. Stays alive at 0-2. First baseman Corey Waters on deck, hoping to get to the plate this half inning. Westland has to find a way to get on safely, though. Up high with the 2-strike pitch. 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 delivery. And he bounces a curveball in. It'll be 2-2. Cozy Dittard this past winter, pitching at Jackson State, had a 4-4 record and a 5.16 earned run average as he throws an off-speed pitch that comes in low, and now we have a full count. Payoff pitch, foul back to the screen, and Westland stays alive. Cozy Ditter pitched 45 in the 3rd innings this past winter, struck out 30 and walked 40. So is prone, obviously, to some control issues based on those numbers from this past off season or past winter season at the collegiate ranks. 3-2 pitch is down low, ball 4. So there's a walk. Runners on first and second, I should say, as Medina moves up to second base. Ethan Murdoch's 2-run homer has the Berries out in front 2-1. They'd like to add on here in the bottom of the 1st inning with Corey Waters coming to the plate. Waters, one of the Saskatoon connection for his hometown team here, the Berries. Looks at the first pitch curveball, down and away, ball 1. Waters 4 hits and 13 at-bats. Hit up the middle, base hit. Rounding third and heading for home is Ibrahim Medina. And Waters comes into second as the throw was towards third base. And Waters took advantage and took the base. So Medina scores on the Waters single, and he moves on into second while Westland advances from first to third. And now the number 8 hitter for the Berries coming up. It'll be Turner Zadunik. In the meantime, Luis Ayala, the catcher, comes out to have a few words with the starting pitcher, Cozy Ditter. 3-1 now the score in favor of the Berries. Runners on second and third. And Zadunik swings and misses. Strike 1. Zadunik with 1 hit and 12 at-bats for the left fielder. This one hit up the first base line, but wide of the bag, foul. And quickly 2 strikes on the product of High River, Alberta. Coming off his freshman year at Colby Community College. 2-strike pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that's the inning. But a good one for the Saskatoon Berries as they score 3 runs on 5 hits. There were no swift current errors and 2 runners left on base. So through 1 full inning of play here at the Next Gen patch at Cairns Field, it is the Saskatoon Berries leading the Swift Current 57s 3-1. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Robert Bonilla comes out to pitch to the top of the 2nd inning against the Swift Current 57s. His offense helps him out in the bottom of the 1st by scoring 3 runs to overcome the run he allowed in the top of the 1st. And Swift Current will come to bat with their bottom 3rd of the order. 2nd baseman Rydell Adair, center fielder Jose Ayala, and left fielder Braxton Vale. First up is 2nd baseman Rydell Adair, playing in his 3rd game, only his 5th at bat. A check swing, but is going to be called a strike by home plate umpire Matt Shuley. Adair 1 for 4 so far this season. This one chopped on the ground. Bounces, nice room service hop for the 2nd baseman Medina. He'll throw him out. We'll have 1 away. Center fielder Jose Ayala coming to the plate now. Jose Ayala wears number 1 on his black Swift Current 57 jersey. First pitch swung on and missed. Strike 1. Jose Ayala 2 for 16 so far this year. 125 is the average. He does have a couple of runs batted in. Chopped on the ground to the 3rd base side. Bonilla with it. He'll roll it across, and Corey Waters can't come up with it cleanly, and he'll point at himself and say, "That's my bad." But we'll call that an error to the 1st baseman. Bonilla fielded the ball to his right, and while moving in that direction towards the baseline, spun and threw a low ball that bounced 2 or 3 times before it got to Waters, and Waters didn't scoop it cleanly. It popped up in the air and he grabbed it, but by then Jose Ayala was across the bag. So here he is on first base, and the first pitch swing and a miss by left fielder Braxton Vale. Vale is 3 for 7 early in the season, hitting .429. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Robert Bonilla, Barry's pitcher, trying to get a second out here in the inning. This one on the ground, right-hand side. Up with it is Medina. The throw on to first in time. Good ranging play by Medina. Not a overly hard hit ball. It looked like it might get through, but Medina ranges to his left and again able to pick it up and then cross body throw the ball accurately to Corey Waters. Ayala moves up to second base as we have a second out. So back to the top of the order for Ethan Bailey, the designated hitter. He grounded out to Medina in the first inning. And first pitch swinging towards the shortstop. Nathan Houston up with it. On across to first in time, and that's the end of the inning. 3 ground ball outs for Robert Bonilla and the Saskatoon Berries, sandwiched around 1 error. There is a runner left on base for Swift Current in the top of the 2nd inning, but they do not score a run, nor do they get a hit. And through an inning and a half at Next Gen Patch Cairns Field, it is the Saskatoon Berries 3 and the Swift Current 57s 1 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. The number 9 hitter for the Saskatoon Berries will be first up here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Cam Marshak will get his first look and swings at Swift Current 57's starting pitcher Nkosi Ditter. Berries with a 3-1 lead. Marshak, designated hitter, coming up, hitting 182, 2 for 11 to start the year. Marshak out of Bruno, Saskatchewan. First pitch in for a strike. Top of the order to follow here. Jalen Freeman. This one swung on in line and off the glove of the shortstop. He'll turn and fire and throws it wildly. Now there's a race for it. Ayala picks it up. He'll throw on to second. They've got the runner easily at second base. Marshak went way past the first base bag, and when he thought that the ball was by the first baseman, instead of thinking it was in the dugout, as he thought, it would actually hit the screen wide of the dugout and stayed in play. And Jose Ayala, the catcher, came across and pegged on to the shortstop who had made the throwing error initially. And they were able to throw him out. So a couple of base running errors. So Jalen Freeman at the plate and takes a strike. Bounced in for a ball, 1-1. Marshak with a line shot that the shortstop, Trig Mapes, couldn't handle, dropped it, fell out, and then threw wildly as Freeman takes a strike on the outside corner, and Freeman doesn't really like it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But again, the throw didn't go into the Berries dugout. It hit the screen as Freeman stays alive at 1-2, fouling on and off. And Marshak was almost out onto the outfield grass when he decided to take off for second base. And that circuitous route that he took ended up costing him an out as Freeman fouls it off. 1-2 pitch upcoming. Up high, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Jalen Freeman. This is lined into left field, but right at the left fielder who almost misjudged it, kind of dove forward and had it kind of slicing on him, and he was able to grab it across his body with his glove on the left hand. So a loud second out, and a good play by Braxton Vale in left field to make it. 2 away. And a first pitch strike to Nathan Houston. Curve ball is outside, ball 1. Outside, ball 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Inside, ball 3. Houston singled and scored the Berries' first run back in the first inning. And swings and misses at a pitch high in the zone. And we have a full count. Payoff pitch, hits him. Houston takes that on the front shoulder, the back side of his left shoulder. So each team has been hit by a pitch once, and each team has an error so far in the game. And up comes Ethan Murdoch, who hit the 2-run homer back in the first inning. The first Berries homer of the season. There's a strike on the first pitch to Murdoch. Murdoch actually jumped on the first pitch for his home run. Now a toss over to first to look back Nathan Houston, who has 3 stolen bases already in the first 3 games of this season. Nkosi Ditter looks back again. 1 strike pitch, bounces in, ball 1. 1-1 the count. The home run, the first for Ethan Murdoch, the first 2 RBIs of the season for the right-handed hitting right fielder. Houston takes off, Murdoch on the ground. That'll get past the third baseman into left field. Houston will make his way around to third base. And runners at first and third with 2 away for the Berries. It'll bring up the catcher, Balin Sorensen. Are we calling that a base hit, I hope, or is it going to be an error? Error? Okay. So a couple of errors here in this inning for the Swift Current 57s. That last one keeps this inning alive. Berries with a chance to add to the lead here if they can get Balin Sorensen to come through with a base hit. First pitch on the inside corner for a strike. One strike pitch coming up. Curve ball in for a strike. Sorensen couldn't pull the trigger on that slower type of delivery. First and third, 2 away. Houston scrambles down the baseline, and Ditter didn't like that. He steps off. Balin Sorensen out of Monroe, Louisiana, here for his second season. Bounced in, ball 1. Balin Sorensen last season hit .244 for the Berries. 1-2 pitch, outside, 2-2. 6 home runs, 26 runs batted in 43 games. Popped out to second base his first time up. 2-2 pitch, inside. And a full count. Abia Medina is on deck. Murdoch will be taking off from first. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch, and that's the end of the inning. Second strikeout of the night for Nkosi Ditter, the starting pitcher for the Swift Current 57s. The Berries leave a couple on base, no runs, no hits, a couple of Swift Current errors, and again, 2 runners left on base. Through 2 here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, it is the Saskatoon Berries leading the Swift Current 57s by a score of 3-1. You're watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege. Yeah, it went through the second strike. Does that mean we weren't on?
I didn't realize. I don't know us. Go away.
Whoops.
We get a message, so they must not have noticed. Okay, good. Great.
Robert Bonilla back out for the Berries, top of the third inning. Swift Current 57s to face the right-hander for the Saskatoon Berries. Bonilla, 6 foot, 200-pound right-hander. Again, played his college ball at Texas Rio Grande Valley this past winter. Gus Cohen doubled and scored in the top of the first inning. He's the leadoff man for Swift Current here in the top of the third inning. Oh, Bonilla box as he stumbled off the rubber. Just no pitch. So not really a balk, as per se. If he had done that with a runner on base, different story altogether. But with nobody on, no harm, no foul, as his first pitch is outside, ball 1. On the inside corner for a strike. Bonilla has good velocity on that fastball. And doesn't take a lot off when he throws his slider. 1-1 pitch is fouled back, 1-2. Shortstop Trig Mapes, third baseman Brody Alexander. Guaranteed to hit for Swift Current here in the top of the third inning. 3-1 Berries with the lead. On the ground towards the shortstop. Nice hop for Nathan Houston. Sends it on across in time. And Gus Cohen is retired. 1 away. That means shortstop Trig Mapes comes up. He's singled back in the first inning. Right-handed hitting shortstop for the 57s. There's a curveball in for a strike. And pours in another strike with a breaking pitch. Manila with a 2-strike pitch to Mapes. Down low, ball 1. This one chopped on the ground towards short. Houston charges, throws on to first just in time. 2 away. Brody Alexander coming to the plate. He struck out his first time up in the first inning. Couple of strikeouts for Robert Bonilla so far in the game. First pitch outside to Alexander, ball 1. Two away. Nobody on base. Fouled up the first base line. 1-1. And outside, ball 2. Alexander has an RBI this year. 2-1 pitch, just off the outside corner, and ball 3. It's the first time that Robert Bonilla has gone 3 balls on a batter. Swing and a miss on that slider that had some downward action. Strike 2, full count. Alexander is in his 3rd season in Swift Current. Full count pitch is outside, ball 4. So a 2-out walk gives the 57s a base runner. And it'll bring up Donovan Borg, who got plunked his first time up. Right fielder, hitting .294, has a couple of RBI. That one is on the inside corner as Borg straightened up, thinking it might hit him, and it caught the inside corner, according to home plate umpire Matt Shuley, for strike 1. Curveball in for strike 2 quickly. Borg in his 2nd season with Swift Current only played 2 games though last year. 1 for 5, a .200 average, hoping to get a little bit of longer stay. Just inside, Bonilla was starting to walk towards the first base Barry's dugout, thinking he had a called strike 3, but he'll have to stay out and throw another pitch. 1-2 the count with a runner on first. 2 away. And that one's outside. So now 2-2 on Donovan Borg. Robert Bonilla ready to go again with a 2-2 pitch. Swing on miss. Strike 3 called. And that's the 3rd strikeout of the evening for Robert Bonilla. No runs, no hits, no Barry's errors. 1 runner left on base, that being the walk issued to Brody Alexander. And through 2.5 innings here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, the Saskatoon Berries lead the Swift Current 57s 3-1 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Yep. First home plate is Matt Schule. Schule. First base is Mark Clark with an E. And the other one is Phil McGee. All right, we're ready to go again here with the bottom of the third inning. The Berries coming up with batters 5, 6, and 7 in their order against Nkosi Ditter, who has thrown 50 pitches unofficially through the first 2 innings of work for him. First up against him today will be Abia Medina, left-handed hitting Berries second baseman, who singled and scored the Berries' third run back in the bottom of the first inning. First pitch from Ditter is down low, ball 1. Right back at it. That one's outside, 2-0. Abia Medina coming off his senior year at Texas A&M International. That one's outside, and 3-0. Quickly on Medina. See if he takes the 3-0 pitch, and he does for a strike. Third baseman Cooper Westland and first baseman Corey Waters guaranteed to be at the plate this inning. There's ball 4 outside, and the Berries get their leadoff man on for a third straight inning. Although in the first inning, Jalen Freeman got thrown out. Westland walked back in the first inning. Berries sent 8 men to the plate in the first. Scored 3 times. Abia Medina on base. Good lead off first. Now a bunt, nicely dropped down. Over to get it is the pitcher, and the throw is not in time. Good hustle by Cooper Westland to get down the first baseline and beat out the bunt. As the pitcher, Nkosi Ditter, did everything he could. He was able to get over towards the baseline, get the ball, and make a solid throw, but Westland able to beat it out. So runners on first and second with nobody out. And Corey Waters, the first baseman, up. Waters singled and drove in a run. He'll bounce one towards second. Off the body of the second baseman, throws on the first, and in time, barely, to get Waters, as the runners Medina to third and Westland to second on the play. That might have been a double play ball had the second baseman, Rydell Adair, fielded it cleanly, but it bounced off his chest, and he was forced to make the only play at first base for an out. So second and third. And at the plate now is the left-handed hitting Turner Zadunik. Struck out his first time up and looked at the first pitch ball. Now there's a strike on an off-speed pitch. 1-1 the count. Outside, 2-1. Two ducks on the pound here in the bottom of the third for the Berries. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 2-2 the count on Zadunik. DH Cam Marshak is on deck. And just a low way and down low. A full count. Ditter ready to deliver. Payoff pitch, and that is fouled off into the stands down the first baseline. Hooked foul in there. Zadunik was way out in front of that off-speed pitch. Three-two, fouled off again. Zadunik staying alive, trying to make something happen here with one away. Swing and a miss, strike three. Third strikeout of the evening for Nkosi Ditter. Two away now for the Berries. And Cam Marshak, the designated hitter, at the plate. This is looped over top of the pitcher's head, dying in the infield grass. The throw on to first, though, in time, as the shortstop, Trig Mapes, able to charge the ball into the infield grass and throw out Cam Marshak for the third and final out. The Berries leave two men on base, do not score a run. They had one hit. No errors by the Swift Current 57s in the bottom of the third inning, and through three complete. Here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, it is the Saskatoon Berries leading the Swift Current 57s 3-1. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Through 3 innings of play, Saskatoon Berries have 3 runs on 6 hits. They've committed 1 error, and they've left 6 runners on base. The Swift Current 57s have a 1 run on 2 hits. They've committed 2 errors. They've left 4 runners on base as we head to the top of the 4th inning, and catcher Luis Ayala to lead it off for the visiting Swift Current 57s, who are hoping to get themselves into the win column for the first time tonight. Came in 0-4, 2 of the 4 losses on the road. Robert Bonilla, 52 pitches thrown unofficially through the first 3 innings, and we see action down the right field line in the Berries bullpen as the first pitch to Luis Ayala is inside for ball 1. Luis Ayala struck out to finish off the first inning. And he gets hit by a pitch. That's the second hit batsman by Bonilla. They'll put a runner on first base with nobody out. Brings up the second baseman, Rydell Adair, who grounded out to second his first time up. This is bunted, picked up by Sorensen. He's going to throw to second, and that's in time. A good peg by Sorensen to the shortstop covering to get Luis Ayala at second base on the sacrifice attempt. It's a fielder's choice instead for the first out. We'll bring up the center fielder, Jose Ayala, who got on an error his first time up. Swinging bunt. There's the first pitch curveball outside from Bonilla, ball 1. Vanilla actually made a very good throw on Ayala's last at bat, as that one comes inside 2-0. Dallin Rood is throwing down the right field line for the Berries. Fouled back to the screen, 2-1. Rood from Munster, Saskatchewan. Played as a freshman this past winter at Colby Community College. Saw some time late last year as a affiliate player with the Berries and showed very well. Called strike 3. Oh, sorry. 2-2 the count. Umpire got a little bit excited there, and so did I because of that. I thought it was only 2-1. Got a little excited there, did Matt Shuley. Jose Ayala says, "Hey, amigo, easy boy." 2-2 pitch. Now he's got strike 3 on a foul tip. Strikeout number 4 for Robert Bonilla, and there's 2 away. Still a runner on first base as Braxton Vale, the left fielder, comes up for a second time. He grounded out to first base, or to the second baseman the first time up. Pitch at the knees for a strike. In Bonilla's case, with the man warming up down the right field line, you have to imagine that Bonilla might be on a pitch count for head coach. Oh, line shot right back to the pitcher, and Bonilla says, "Look, Bob, what I found." Youch. That could have been a lot worse than what that was. That is just nice to be able to grab that hot shot right back at you. Good contact from Vale, a better catch 50 feet away by the pitcher, Robert Bonilla. Swift Current 57s do not score a run. No hits. They had 1 runner left on base. There were no Saskatoon Berries errors. And after 3.5 innings here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field in Saskatoon, it is the Berries 3, the Swift Current 57s 1. And you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Line drive right back to the pitcher. Which one? Top of the order for the Saskatoon Berries coming up here in the bottom of the 4th inning against Nkosi Ditter, the starting pitcher for the Swift Current 57s. No action down the left field line in the 57s bullpen, so Ditter is still the man heading into the bottom of the 4th. Jalen Freeman will be up, followed by Nathan Houston and then Ethan Murdoch. Freeman 1 for 2. Singled and was caught stealing the first inning and swings and misses at the first pitch here from Ditter for strike 1. Flew out to left field. His last time up. This one on the ground towards second, forcing the second baseman way into center field. And a big lob throw, and Freeman with good speed will beat that out for an infield hit. So Nathan Houston will come up. Freeman thrown out, stealing back in the first inning. See if he tries to test Luis Ayala's arm again here in the top of the 4th with the Berries up by 2. He'll first have to dive back to first base with the pitcher Ditter with a check on him. And again, a throw over, but not as much velocity that time. Almost like a courtesy toss. Nathan Houston still waiting on that first pitch to him, which comes now and is inside, ball one. Mentioned Nathan Houston is from Melville, coming off his sophomore season at Louisiana Tech University. Fouls the 1-0 pitch back to the screen for a strike. One and one the count. Houston singled and scored back in the first inning, was hit by a pitch in the second. Now Freeman dancing away from first and Ditter with the throw over, and Freeman having to get that uniform dirtied even more as he dove back. On the ground to third. Stabbed, throw on to second for one, bobbled, and the throw on to first with the relay is not in time. Nathan Houston is on a fielder's choice as the second baseman Adair bobbled going from the transfer from glove to throwing hand, and that was enough to allow Houston to make his way to first base safely. So one away here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And Ethan Murdoch, who has the big hit of the game so far, a 2-run homer in the bottom of the first inning, looks at the first pitch down low and inside for a ball. They'll throw on over to check on Nathan Houston, who also has decent wheels. Doesn't mind going after a stolen base. And he takes a bigger lead than Freeman does. Murdoch with a swing and a miss, strike one. A ball and a strike to the Swift Current product playing against his hometown team. Ditter looks over at Houston, who's off first. Takes another step forward and now draws a throw. Again, that of the less than overly urgent variety. Murdoch went to Marshall College this past winter. Breaking pitch outside, 2-1. Two and one the count on Murdoch. And that one goes bending away outside. 3-1. Murdoch's a big kid, 6'2", 205 pounds. Again, mentioned Marshall University. Known more for the football program, but obviously they got a decent baseball program as well. As that is up high, ball 4. A walk will put runners on first and second with one away and bring up the cleanup hitter, Balin Sorensen, the Berries catcher, who's 0 for 2, a pop-out and a strikeout. Sorensen would like to do some damage here in this situation. Would love to get his first RBIs of the year. Right-handed hitting catcher. Swings at an off-speed pitch and misses, strike one. Abia Medina, the second baseman, on deck. One away here in the bottom of the fourth. Fastball up high and away, ball 1. Sorensen had 6 long flies last season, as mentioned earlier. He definitely has the power to hit it out. Looks at a pitch down low, breaking ball, 2-1. This really isn't a night for right-handers to pull a ball out of the ballpark, despite what Ethan Murdoch did. This would be a night for a lefty to pull one out if he could. Cued now to the right side of the infield by Sorensen, fielded by Adair, and an underhand toss to first to get him for the second out as the runners advance 90 feet. Houston to third, Murdoch to second base. .16 here in Saskatoon. West-northwest wind gusting to upwards of 34 kilometers an hour, so the three flags on top of the scoreboard in right center field are out briskly thanks to the wind. First pitch to Medina is inside, ball one. Two away. This one on the ground towards first. Fielded by the first baseman. The toss to Ditter covering the bag is in time, and the Berries leave another couple of runners on base. They've left 2 runners on base in each of the first 4 innings here tonight. They do have 3 runs and lead at 3-1, but they've left 8 on base through 4 innings of play. No runs on 1 hit, no swift current errors, and 2 runners left on base. Through 4 complete. It is the Saskatoon Berries 3 and the Swift Current 57s 1 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Neither did I.
No idea. I was a little bit freaked out there because you're talking. I'm like, oh crap. No, it was working for quite a while on camera.
But now not.
Nope. It freezes for a while, and then it comes back. But I had a lot more of the game now. Better this time, I think.
Yeah.
Better. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pitching change here for the Saskatoon Berries as we go into the top of the 5th inning, and the Berries leading by a score of 3-1. Dallin Rood, right-hander out of Munster, Saskatchewan, coming off his freshman year at Colby Community College, comes on to replace Robert Bonilla. Mentioned Rood saw some time with the Berries last year. Started a game, had 2 appearances during the regular season, and had a win in 6 1/3 innings. He also made a relief appearance in the playoffs, pitching 4 innings. And now gets his first appearance of 2025 as he drops down a little sidearm action and fires in a strike to the leadoff man, Ethan Bailey. This one is lifted in the air, weakly off of a hop, and the throw on to first base in time. Solid throw on the money from third baseman Cooper Westland for the first out of this top of the 5th inning. Good peg by Westland. Gus Cohen up now. Doubled and scored in the first inning. Looks at a pitch down and in for a ball from Dallin Rood. And just a little low with that delivery, 2-0. Cohen grounded out in the 3rd inning. This one is on the outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Shortstop Trig Mapes is on deck for Swift Current, trailing 3-1 to the Saskatoon Berries in the top of the 5th inning. 2-1 pitch is popped up and foul into the screen, and 2-2 now. Two pitch bounces and hits Gus Cohen in the leg. He'll get his base. That's 3 hit batsmen on the Swift Current side. 4 in total for the game. Trig Mapes, the shortstop, coming up now for Swift Current. And first pitch in for a strike. Dallin Rood with more of a sidearm, 3/4 type of motion. This one's lifted foul and out of play beyond the first base bleachers. And quickly, Rood is up 2 strikes on Trig Mapes. Brody Alexander on deck. Two strikes down low. Ball 1. One-two pitch coming. On the ground, back to Rood. Throws on to second for 1. Back on to first. Double play. A 1-6-3 double play to finish off the top of the 5th inning for the Swift Current 57s. No runs, no hits, no Barry's errors, nobody left on base. After 4.5, it's Saskatoon 3, Swift Current 1, as you're watching Barry's baseball on FloCollege. Cozy Dinner back out for the bottom of the 5th inning for the Swift Current 57s. No action down the down the left field line in the Swift Current bullpen for Rudy Estrella, the head coach manager for the 57s. Meanwhile, down the right field line, Dallin Rood has given Joe Carnahan an inning, and up and throwing is Carson Obrecht. So we may be seeing him in the 6th inning. We'll see. Rood has made his way back down towards the bullpen area, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's done. Meanwhile, for the Berries, it's hitters 6, 7, and 8 in the order coming up. Cooper Wesland leading off. He's been on base twice. Walked in the 1st inning, singled in the 3rd. And Westland gets hit on the first pitch in the back, trying to turn away from a pitch that was not going to break for Nkosi Ditter. That's his 2nd hit batsman of the day. 5 of them in total in the game. 3 hit by pitch on the Swift Current side and 2 hit batsmen on the Barry side as Corey Waters comes up. Single, drove in a run in the 1st inning and grounded out to second his 2nd time up. Again, the Berries get the leadoff man on. As taking off was Westland, and Waters fouls the first pitch off for a strike. Westland dove into second base, and that nice white uniform is now dirty. More laundry for equipment manager Max Hildebrand. Just doesn't seem fair to do that to the Western Hockey League's goaltender of the year. But that's what he signed up for. In there for a strike, strike two. Waters in the hole, 0-2. Fouls it back to the screen, stays alive. Now we do have action on the left field line in the Swift Current bullpen area. Submarine style tosser. Chase Cummins up and warming up. Throw over to first, and diving back into the bag is Cooper Westland. Westland has a couple of steals to his credit. He takes off, and Waters hits one high in the air to left field and deep, and it is gone. Just clears the fence in left center field. A 2-run home run for Corey Waters, and that makes it 5-1 for the Berries. That one was high in the air. I didn't know if it would have the distance to get out, but indeed it did. Just over the fence in left center field. Second 2-run shot of the night for the Berries. Their first 2 home runs as a team this year. And they lead it 5-1 as Waters has a 3 RBI game on the go. Turner Zadunik now up. Looking for his first hit of the night. First pitch down low, ball 1. Swing and a miss. Zadunik was fooled on that one. Wanted to hold up and could not do so. And a called strike, 1-2 on Zadunik. Fouled off. Zadunik stays alive. Cam Marshak, the designated hitter, is on deck. Jalen Freeman will get a 4th plate appearance here in the bottom of the 5th inning already. Swing and a miss, strike 3. As Zadunik. That's 4 strikeouts now for Nkosi Ditter. Gets the first out. 3 of his 4 strikeout victims has been Turner Zadunik. So here's Cam Marshak. 0 for 1. First pitch down low, ball 1. Marshak involved in one of the stranger plays of the night. Maybe the strangest play of the night. Because he got thrown out at second base after going well beyond the first base bag, being safe on a wild throw, and then tried to take second and was out by a lot. 1-1 the count. Swing and a miss on a curveball, strike 2. Ditter ready to go with the 1-2. This one's tapped past the mound. Charging is the shortstop. Up with it, and the throw on to first. And in time. Bang, bang play at first base. And a good pick at first base by Gus Cohen to take the Trig Mapes throw, which was down in the dirt, and was able to short hop it and come up with the out for 2 away. And Jalen Freeman up again. Freeman 2 for 3, 2 singles. This spot in the leadoff spot remains to be seen. Carter Beck, I'm told, is going to be here come Wednesday. And if he's here on Wednesday, probably be in the lineup. He was the leadoff man pretty much all of last year for the Berries, as fouled off by Freeman. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Joe Carnahan has a decision to make. Bounced in inside, 2-1. It's a good problem to have, really, for the Berries skipper. Swing and a miss by Freeman. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You've got a guy who's done a pretty good job in the leadoff spot for you through 4 games, almost 4 games, 3.5. And you've got a guy who was your MVP last year coming in. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Ditter gets his 2nd strikeout of the inning and 5th of the game. But a 2-run home run by Corey Waters extends the Berries' lead after 5 innings complete to 5-1 over the Swift Current 57s. 2 runs on 1 hit, no Swift Current errors, and nobody left on base. Through 5, it is the Saskatoon Berries 5 and the Swift Current 57s 1. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Carson Obrecht will be the 3rd pitcher into the game tonight for the Saskatoon Berries. Dallin Rude with a clean 5th inning in relief. And now Obrecht into the game. 6'2", 210-pound right-hander out of Omaha, Nebraska. Coming off his freshman year at Wayne State College. He is making his WCBL debut with the Saskatoon Berries. Here in the top of the 6th inning, he'll face the middle 3rd of the Swift Current order. Brody Alexander coming up. Alexander is 0 for 1 with a walk. Struck out in the 1st inning against the starting pitcher, Robert Bonilla. Carson Obrecht bounces his first pitch in for a ball. Line drive center field. Freeman over to his left. Drops to his knees, slides and makes the catch. A loud line drive first out here in the top of the 6th inning for the Swift Current 57s. As now it'll be the right fielder Donovan Borg. 0 for 1, hit by a pitch and struck out. First pitch in for a strike. Luis Ayala, the catcher, on deck. Carson Obrecht set to deliver. Breaking pitch is fouled back. And quickly he's up 2 strikes on Donovan Borg. Carson Obrecht ready to deliver a 2-strike pitch. And that is right down the middle. Strike 3 called. 2 away quickly here. And it'll bring up the catcher, Luis Ayala. Struck out in the first inning, hit by a pitch last time up, 0 for 1. Right-handed hitter from Panama City, Panama. A slow breaking pitch is in for a strike. No action down the right field line in the bullpen, so Obrecht might get more than 1 inning. Unlike Dallin Rood, who got just the 1 inning, and now Obrecht steps off. Luis Ayala coming off his senior year at Fort Hays State. That one is inside, ball 1. 1-1 the count. Obrecht ready to deliver. This one hit on the ground. Third baseman Westland across the diamond makes the play, and I believe that's for the first time tonight, 3 up and 3 down. Last inning there was a hit batsman and a double play, but indeed for the first time tonight we have a 3 up, 3 down situation. Swift Current goes in order in the top of the 6th inning, and after 5 1/2, it is 5-1 for the Saskatoon Berries over the Swift Current 57s at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. As you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
That's why it's cold. There's air on it.
New pitcher on the mound for the Swift Current 57s. Unofficially, Cozy Ditter pitched 101 tosses out there tonight on the mound, so he will be replaced by Chase Cummins from Orcutt, California, coming off his freshman year at Cerro Coso Community College. And he's a submarine delivery from down under. A little bit of a different look for the Berries. We'll send up shortstop Nathan Houston, right fielder Ethan Murdoch, and catcher Balin Sorensen to face the new pitcher here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Houston coming to the plate. He's been on base all 3 times. Singled and scored in the first, hit by a pitch in the second, and reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. Nathan Houston will be the first one to face Chase Cummins. "5-1 Berries with the lead, looking for their 3rd straight win. As we're into the month of June. Houston squares the bunt and lets it go down low, ball 1. On the ground at third, nicely picked on the second hop, and the throw on to first in time to get Nathan Houston for the first time tonight. Brody Alexander with the good play at third base. So Ethan Murdoch comes up. Murdoch with one of the 2 Berries home runs tonight. His 2-run shot put the Berries out in front after giving up a run to the 57s in the top of the first inning. 2-run homer in the bottom of the first. Got the Berries going, and they now lead it 5-1. Cummins' pitch is low and away and gets away from the catcher, but nobody on base, so no biggie. 1 strike. Catcher Balin Sorensen on deck. Murdoch's been on base all 3 times tonight. Looks at a pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. Besides the home run in the first inning, reached on an error in the second, I should say, and walked in the 4th inning. Chase Cummins ready to deliver a 1-1 pitch. And that one scoots in low. 2 balls and a strike. Fouled off wide of third base. Evens the count at 2-2. A bit of a difference in velocity between the starting pitcher Nkosi Ditter and this new pitcher Chase Cummins. Cummins, that submarine delivery, doesn't bring it up to the plate quite as fast as Ditter did. 2-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. Tag applied by the catcher. That's a strikeout for Chase Cummins, and 2 away, bringing up Balin Sorensen. Barry's back in action tomorrow night here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. They'll play the Fort McMurray Giants. Not just tomorrow night, but on Wednesday as well. First pitch 7 o'clock both nights. We'll have them for you here on FloCollege. Down low to Balin Sorensen with the first pitch. Sorensen looking for his first hit. 0 for 3 tonight. Couldn't pull the trigger on that one. There's a strike. Fort McMurray is yet to play a game this season. So their games here on tomorrow night and Wednesday will be their first action of the season. They're the last team in the league to play a game. 2-1 the count now on Sorensen. Chase Cummins ready to go. He bounces that one in, and it's 3-1. Sorensen's popped out, struck out, grounded out. 1 for 12 on the season. He'd like to get that bat unlimbered and going like we've seen him do it last year. It's early, though. A couple of 3-hit games will do wonders for an average. There's a swing and a miss and a full count now. That ball comes in there with that speed, looks pretty tantalizing. You almost got to make sure you wait. Wait it out. Be patient. There's a line drive single that bounces up the middle. And a base hit for Balin Sorensen. So he is on. A runner on first. 2 away for the Berries. It'll bring up second baseman Abia Medina. Berries' 9th hit of the evening. Left-handed hitting Medina. 1 for 2 tonight. First pitch is down low, ball 1. Sorensen at first, 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Barry's looking for a 2-out rally to try and extend their lead. Medina looks at a strike. One and one the count. And outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. On the go is Sorensen. The pitch outside, the throw down to second, and he's out. That's 2 caught stealing by Luis Ayala in this game. As Medina will lead off the bottom of the 7th for the Berries, who get no runs in the bottom of the 6th on 1 hit. No Swift Current errors and nobody left on base. Through 6 innings complete here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, it is the Saskatoon Berries leading the Swift Current 57s by a score of 5-1. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Carson Obrecht back on for a 2nd inning in relief for the Saskatoon Berries as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Your total so far through 6 for the Berries, 5 runs on 9 hits. They've committed 1 error and left 8 runners on base. Swift Current, 1 run on 2 hits. They've committed 2 errors. They've left 5 runners on base. Just looking through some of what we've had in this game. Robert Bonilla started this game for the Saskatoon Berries. 4 innings. He went through the order twice, faced 18 batters. Gave up the 1 earned run on 2 hits, struck out 4, walked 1, and hit 2 batters. First pitch outside, ball 1 to the number 7 hitter, 2nd baseman Rydell Adair. Bottom 3rd of the Swift Current order coming up here in the top of the 7th inning. Inside, ball 2 to Adair, who's 0 for 2. Grounded out and bunted into a fielder's choice his last time up. There's a line drive into right field coming over and not able to get it. It'll get by Ethan Burdock to the fence. Churning into second base is Rydell Adair, and a leadoff double for the Swift Current 57s. Their first hit since the 1st inning, just their 3rd of the game. So now Jose Ayala will come up. Reached on an error in the 2nd inning and struck out in the 4th. Activity down the right field line in the Berries bullpen. Nothing happening just yet. A curveball stayed inside to Ayala, ball one. Jose and Luis are brothers. Jose is also from Panama City, Panama. Coming off his senior year, though, at Grace College, whereas brother Luis, this one's popped up in the air. In behind second base, second baseman calling for it and makes the catch. Stumbling backwards in the process, but made the play and is one away. Good job there by second baseman Abiam Medina. It'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Braxton Vale. Vale 0 for 2. Grounded out and hit a line shot back to the pitcher in the 4th inning. That was the last batter that Robert Bonilla faced. Good job by him. So one away. Vale squares the bunt and swings away and misses, strike one. He squared the bunt, and that had Corey Waters, who's playing back at first base, charging in and put on the brakes when he saw Vale pull the bat back and then try to swing away. One strike pitch is cued foul towards the third base Swift Current dugout. There's 2 strikes. Dallin Rood had a pretty good inning. Had the one hit batsman, and that was it. Carson Obrecht on for his second inning in relief. Bounces a pitch in. It's now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Braxton Vale. Top of the order, Ethan Bailey is on deck. Down the right field line, Tanner Hosick is warming up for Joe Carnahan and the Berries. 1-2 pitch is low. 2-2. PA announcer Simon Hyatt trying to get the crowd going, looking for a "Let's Go Berries" chant here. Obrecht with 2-2. Hit on the ground towards first. 2 hopper taken by Corey Waters. He'll come to the bag and get the out, while Rydell Adair moves on over to third base. 2 away. And back to the top of the order for Ethan Bailey, who was grounded out 3 times in this game. 5-1 Berries with the lead here on Swift Current in the top of the 7th inning. Obrecht trying to keep it at that score by getting it out here, and his first pitch comes downstairs, ball 1. Now he'll call up catcher Balin Sorensen as he wants to check on signs and decide on how they want to attack the leadoff hitter here for the Swift Current 57s. Try to get the third and final out of the top of the 7th inning. Let's see what Obrecht and Sorensen have come up with. That one's in for a strike. 1-1. Ready to deal again. 1-1 pitch. In there for strike 2. 1 strike away from getting out of the inning for Carson Obrecht. Be a pretty good couple of innings if he can do so. Ethan Bailey has other ideas, of course. Runner on third, 2 away. 1-2 delivery is hit in the air over top of the pitcher. Card charging and comes on the first and not in time. Ethan Bailey beats out a bouncing ball, a high chopper that got over the head of the pitcher, Obrecht, and Medina fielding it on the edge of the infield grass could not get him in time, and so an infield single and RBI makes it 5-2 and keeps the inning alive. And now Joe Carnahan, the Barry's head coach, is going to come out and have a chat with Carson Obrecht, and we may see a pitching change as we've had a man warming up down the right field line in Tanner Hosick for the Berries. 5-2 game, top of the 7th inning, 2 away. Couple of hits in this inning for the 57s. Carnahan is not going to make the move just yet. As the 57s have doubled their hit total just in this inning. So now left-handed hitting Gus Cohen, the first baseman. 1 for 2, doubled and scored in the first inning, grounded out in the third, was hit by a pitch in the 5th. And the first pitch is down low for a ball. Good lead at first base for the runner. And that one is a breaking pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Ethan Bailey is the leadoff hitter for the Swift Current 57s. But again, they've only had one stolen base as a team. This one hit high in the air. Coming over is the pitcher, but now the third baseman, Westland, calls him up, makes the catch between the pitcher's mound and home plate for the third and final out of the top of the 7th inning. The pitcher should get out of there and direct who is going to make the play on that. Normally that's what is happening, and that's what you want, but no problem there in the end as Westland makes the play, and the 57s get on the board with a run on 2 hits, no Berries errors, and 1 runner left on base. Through 6.5 as we head to the 7th inning stretch here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. It is the Saskatoon Berries 5 and the Swift Current 57s 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Chase Cummins is back out to pitch for the Swift Current 57s in the bottom of the 7th inning. His team trailing the Saskatoon Berries by a score of 5-2. Berries will send back up Abiam Medina. He was left at the plate when Balin Sorensen was thrown out trying to steal back in the 6th inning for the third out. So Medina, Cooper Westland, and Corey Waters come to the dish here in the bottom of the 7th against Cummins. Somewhat diminutive right-handed submarine thrower. The first pitch is outside, ball 1. 1-0 pitch is down low again, 2-0 to Abia Medina. Cummins, big deep breath there as he takes the sign. And he's thrown low again. So a 3-0 count to Abia Medina for the 5'11", 165-pound right-hander. Carson Obrecht appears to be done as he's gone from the dugout to the bullpen area. We'll have a new Barry's pitcher, I'm pretty sure, come the top of the 8th inning. And that's a 4-pitch walk. That one looked pretty good, but Medina didn't bite at it, and home plate umpire Matt Shuley said low, so we've got ourselves a runner on first to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning, and Cooper Westland coming to the plate. Second time that Medina has walked tonight. Westland has also walked, been hit by a pitch, and has singled, so he's been on base all 3 times tonight, has a run scored as well. See if we can keep that good night going here with Medina on first base. Chase Cummins comes set. Westland showed bunt, pulled back, and takes a strike. Westland ready to face Chase Cummins in a 1-strike count. Line drive over the shortstop's head into left field. Medina rounds second and puts on the brakes, and having to do the same with a big wide turn at first is Cooper Westland. The outfielders got to the ball pretty rapidly in the gap, didn't get past them, and everybody had to stay where they are, station to station. Westland with a single, and Medina up to second base. 2 on, and nobody out. And Corey Waters, who hit the 2-run homer in the 5th inning to make it 5 runs for the Berries, has 3 runs batted in the game as he's gone 2 for 3 tonight. Cummins' first pitch comes up high, ball 1. Waters came into the game hitting .308, 4 for 13. He now has the team lead in runs batted in with 5. Thanks to the 3 ribbies tonight. Takes a strike. 1-1. Waters now 6 for 16 on the season. Quick math, that's 375. When the numbers are small like that, I can do the math. They get a little more, and it's a little more difficult to make the computer in my brain register that quickly. 2-1 after that pitch outside to Corey Waters. Two-one pitch. Down low, 3-1. Waters in his 2nd year with the Berries, of course, a hometown Saskatoon product. Would like to do more damage here. Hits one down the right side and through for a base hit. Turning third and heading for home is Abia Medina. He will score to make it 6-2. Cooper Westland is on to third base, and that's 4 RBI for Corey Waters tonight. 3 for 4 on the evening. 6-2 the score now. And Rudy Estrella, the head coach, has come out for Swift Current. going to make a pitching change from the looks of it. Looks like the left fielder is going to come on to pitch, and a new left fielder coming into the game. David Jinks is going to go out to left field, it looks like, and the left fielder, Braxton Vale, will come on to pitch. So Chase Cummins is done. He is still responsible for the 2 runners on base. Braxton Vale is a left-hander. And it'll be his first pitching appearance. Cummins had been making his 3rd. He had no record, a 12.60 earned run average, and it could get a little more inflated here if the Berries are able to do a little more damage with 2 runners on base and nobody out. And a new pitcher in Braxton Vale into the contest. So 6-2, the Berries with the lead. They have 11 hits on the evening. Yeah, no more designated hitter in the game now. David Jinks comes into the ball game in the leadoff spot. Number 23. Yep. So yes, David Jinks is coming on into the game. So it'll be Braxton Vale on. Nobody out. 2 men on for the Berries. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lefty Vale to face the lefty hitting Turner Zadunik. And Zadunik fouls the first pitch back for a strike. Chance to add as Zadunik squares to bunt and pulls back. Pitches down low, ball 1. That would have been like a safety squeeze. The bunt would have had to have gotten down first before the runner on third, Westland, would have made a break for home plate. He squares again, bunts it in the air, and it lands on the ground. Pitcher Vale makes the play to first base. Westland scores, and on to second is Corey Waters, and that is a sacrifice for the first out and an RBI for Turner Zadunik, his first of the year. Cam Marshak, the DH, now up as the Berries have made it 7-2. And just runner on base now at second. First pitch to Marshak, in for a strike. Cam Marshak is 0 for 3 tonight. Hits this one on the ground towards third. Fielded by the third baseman Alexander. The throw on to first in time. Waters holds his ground at second. There's 2 away. So back to the top of the order. And Jalen Freeman, 2 for 4 with 2 singles tonight. Waters at second with 2 away. First pitch down and away, ball 1. And Now the catcher, Luis Ayala, to speak with Braxton Vale. Get their signals straight, make sure they're on the same page. Just doing the final totals on Swift Current starter Nkosi Ditter, who gave up 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned in 5 innings tonight. Struck out 5. Got a lively arm. Just a little wild. Gave up some big hits. As Freeman swings and misses at a fastball up high from Vale. 1-1 count. One pitch is outside, 2-1. Vale stares in for a sign. A 2-1 pitch is on the outside corner for strike 2 to Jalen Freeman. Nathan Houston on deck, hoping to get a hack this half inning. Fouls the fastball back, stays alive at 2-2. Let's see what happens with the 2-2 pitch and 2 away. And now Vale steps back, forces Waters back to the bag at second. He didn't like the lead he was getting out there. Shortstop is close by, Trig Mapes. 2-2 pitch, a curved ball down in low, full count. Lights are on. It's starting to get dark out here. As a swing and a foul tip strikeout. Braxton Vale strikes out Jamal Freeman. And that's the end of the bottom of the 7th inning. But the Berries get 2 more runs to extend their lead to 7-2. 2 runs on 2 hits. No Swift Current errors. And 1 runner left on base. Through 7 complete. It's the Saskatoon Berries 7. The Swift Current 57s 2, as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. New pitcher into the game, 4th one of the night for the Saskatoon Berries. Tanner Hosick into the game. Tanner Hosick is coming off his freshman year at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. He calls Bellevue, Nebraska home. 5'7", 155-pound right-hander. Gets the top of the 8th inning. Announced attendance tonight here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field is 1,214. Not the warmest night A little different than what it was on Saturday. It's 13 degrees under mostly cloudy skies here in Saskatoon. The wind is abated somewhat out of the west at 19 kilometers per hour as we're past the 2-hour mark. And the first pitch from Tanner Hosick to Trig Mapes is in for a strike. Fouled off, and quickly Hosick is ahead of Mapes 2 strikes. Two-strike pitch is hit down the ground to third, backhanded there, and a long throw over by Westland and picked at first base by Corey Waters. Nice job at both ends of the defense, and one away in the top of the 8th inning. This is Tanner Hosick's second appearance already this season. He pitched an inning in the third. In relief back on Friday in the 8-5 victory as he pours a strike into third baseman Brody Alexander for the first pitch. Another strike thrown. Hosick pitched an inning in the third in Moose Jaw back in Friday. Struck out 2, faced 5 batters. Didn't give up a run or a hit. 2-strike delivery, swung on and missed, strike 3. I like what I see of Tanner Hosick. He can bring it pretty good for a guy who's only 5'7". 2 away. That's a pretty big arm. So now it's the right fielder, Donovan Borg. 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts, hit by a pitch his first time up. In the top of the 8th inning. "7-2 Berries with the leads. Fouled off at the plate by Borg. Hosick comes in pounding the strike zone. 7 pitches, 7 strikes. Late in the game in a high leverage situation, you want to be that guy doing that. Although there he is with a pitch down low, ball 1. Of course, it's the old broadcaster bugaboo. As soon as you say something about that, it's going to be the other way. You put the jinx on him. 1-1 the count. That's why you're not supposed to say anything about a no-hitter when a pitcher's got it. Here's a fly ball into left field, drifting over and making the catch out there in left field for the Berries is Turner Zadunik. And that's a 3 up, 3 down, top of the 8th inning for the Swift Current 57s. Nothing across, no runs, no hits, no Berries errors, and nobody left on base through 7.5 innings. It is the Saskatoon Berries leading the Swift Current 57s 7-2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Cold. So Braxton Vale, who came in from left field last inning to take over on the mound for Swift Current, is back out for the bottom of the 8th inning. Vale will face Nathan Houston, Ethan Murdoch, and Balin Sorensen, the 2-3-4 hitters for the Saskatoon Berries, here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Berries with a 7-2 lead. Houston coming up, 1 for 3 tonight, singled and scored in the first inning. Berries shortstop out of Melville, Saskatchewan. First pitch in for a strike to Houston. Vale delivers, fastball up high, ball 1. 1-1. The beauty of college baseball, you can still pitch and play in the field. A utility, if you will. Swing and a miss by Houston, 1-2. Corey Waters can do that for the Berries. He did some pitching for them last year, in addition to playing first base or designated hitter. Vale's 1-2. Curveball and it stayed outside, 2-2. Hit back off the leg of the pitcher Vale, out towards second base. The throw to first, over the head of the first baseman, all the way to the backstop, retrieved there by the catcher Luis Ayala. But Houston is on with a single because that would have been off the leg of Vale, and that was a rushed throw trying to get him at first. Wouldn't have happened. So hit number 12 of the night for the Saskatoon Berries. And that's a shot off the pitcher's leg, and Coach Rudy Estrella for the Swift Current 57's out to check on his pitcher. And they said, okay, let's see how you do with taking a warm-up toss here and see if there's any effect. Vale's got a big smile on his face. I think he's saying, you know what, I'm okay, Coach. I don't need you to pull me out. I want to continue. He gives him a nod and says, yeah, I'm good. So he'll stay in the game, and Ethan Murdoch will be the batter. But that was a hot shot off the bat of Nathan Houston for a hit. Murdoch, of course, with a 2-run homer back in the first inning. First pitch up high, ball 1. And up high again, ball 2. Toss on to first base to keep Houston close to the bag, so he doesn't wander off too far. Now throw down to first after the ball by the catcher Ayala, and Houston scrambles back to the bag in time. Meanwhile, it's ball 3, 3-0 to Ethan Murdoch. Taking all the way, Murdoch looks at a strike. It's 3-1. And there's ball 4 low in the dirt. Houston will advance to second. Murdoch's on to first. The Berries have the first 2 runners on here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they'll bring up the catcher. The pitcher, Vale, looking over at the dugout as if he maybe is feeling it a little bit, but nobody's coming out to get him and bring him out of the ball game. So he'll stay in to face Balin Sorensen, who got on with a single last time up, and he'll step off the bag, force the runners back to their bases, or at least closer to their bags. Nathan Houston at second and Ethan Murdoch at first. First pitch is inside, blocked by the catcher, ball one. Braxton Vale ready to go for the 57s on the mound. Sorensen flares this one foul towards the Berries dugout, and it'll find the warning track in front of the crowd and go up and out of play. One and one the count on Balin Sorensen. Vale's delivery. Balin Sorensen swings at that curveball down. Misses it. It's 1-2. One-two pitch, runners are going. Sorensen swings and misses. The throw down to third is over the head of the third baseman, and that'll allow the runner, Houston, to come in to score the 8th Berries run. So Sorensen strikes out for the first out, but a stolen base for Nathan Houston, and he comes home on the throwing error by the catcher. Ethan Murdoch up to second base. And it's 8-2 now for the Berries here in the bottom of the 8th inning. As we have a different player in the ball game here for the Berries, up to bat for the first time. Reese Bronze is into the game. Looks at the first pitch down low for ball one. Bronze into the game for Abiam Medina. And looks at a pitch inside, ball two. I don't know if Reese, who's normally a pitcher, is staying in the game to pitch. And Cam Marshak plays second base. That's possible. Bronze fouls that off up over the first base bleachers and out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And that one's down and in, ball 3. 3-1 on Reese Bronze. Have to imagine Papa Greg is here in the stands somewhere. This one's bounced towards third and gets under the glove and gets by the infielders and just to the shallow outfield. Moving around to score is Corey Waters. Let's see what the scorers say about that one. Going to be an error on the third baseman, and that will allow Waters to come all the way around from second to score. That didn't have a lot of juice on it. The ball got under the glove of the third baseman, Alexander, at the lip of the infield grass, and then squirted past the shortstop as well. That allowed Waters to score, and now up to bat is Cooper Westland, who takes a strike. It's now 9-2. And another strike thrown by Braxton Vale to Cooper Westland. One away, runner on first base. Corey Waters is on deck. Swing and a miss, and Vale strikes him out, and catcher was starting to head for the dugout, thinking it was 3 out, and luckily they realized that that's only 2. Waters will get a chance for another at-bat here. 2 errors in this inning for the 57s. They've committed 4 errors in the game. Here's Waters, who's 3 for 4 tonight, with 3 runs batted in. 4 runs batted in, I should say. I looked at the first pitch ball. Up high, ball 2. Left fielder Turner Zadunik on deck. Two 0 pitches in for a strike, 2-1. Two 1 pitch, swung on, bounced to third, picked up there, and the throw on to first in time to get Waters on the throw by Brody Alexander to finish off the bottom of the 8th inning. But another 2 runs for the Saskatoon Berries in the bottom of the 8th inning on 1 hit. There were 2 Swift Current 57 errors and 1 runner left on base. And after 8 complete, it is the Saskatoon Berries with a handy lead of 9-2 over the Swift Current 57s, heading to the top of the 9th. As you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Yeah, this inning, and that'll be it. No, I got to do post-game interviews, though. Yep. So we head to the top of the 9th inning. 7-run lead for the Saskatoon Berries. And former Swift Current 57 Clavert Martina on the pitch for the Berries. Martina has already pitched a game this year for the Berries, or pitched in a game at least. From Curacao, coming off a senior year at Eastern New Mexico University. Clavert pitched in that game in Moose Jaw and pitched 2 innings for a save, striking out 3 and facing 6 batters without giving up a hit or a walk or any such thing. 6 for 6. So he'll face Luis Ayala, the catcher, the second baseman Rydell Adair, and the center fielder Jose Ayala here in the top of the 9th inning. And Clavert Martinez's first pitch is up high, ball 1. Martina with the big arm. Fouled off, 1-1. It's the kind of guy that Joe Carnahan will probably employ in 9th inning, 8th inning, 9th inning. In bigger situations than this. 7-run lead here. But get him a little bit of work. 1-1 pitch. Again, up high, ball 2, 2-1. Fouled off at the plate by Luis Ayala. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Luis Ayala is 0 for 2 tonight, hit by a pitch. Clavert Martina is 6'2", 200-pound right-hander. Two delivery with nobody out. And not called strike 3. That one was pretty close. So a full count. Haven't seen a lot of those from Barrie's pitchers tonight. They have been fairly efficient with their pitches. 3-2 pitch is grounded up the middle and a base hit for Luis Ayala to lead off the top of the 9th inning. Rydell Adair, the second baseman, coming up. He doubled and scored their second run back in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Adair fouls the first pitch off over top of the Swift Current third base dugout and out of play. Again, the Berries are back at home tomorrow and also Wednesday, taking on the Fort McMurray Giants. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Rydell Adair. Barrie's looking to finish off a 3rd straight win. Be 3-1 for the season and go 2-0 on home diamond here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, as Martina with a throw over to first on Luis Ayala, who gets back safely. Barrie's 3 outs away from doing just that. Up high, ball 1. Clavert Martinez not getting that up high in the strike zone call from home plate umpire Matt Shuley. Going to have to bring it down about a few inches. And again, a throw over to first. One-two pitch upcoming. Fouled back to the screen. Adair stays alive. 1-2. Up high again, 2-2 now the count on Rydell Adair. Martina looking to finish him off here. 2-2 pitch hit in the air. Center field. Freeman coming on. He'll make the catch. And Jose Ayala has to go back to first base, 1 away. It'll bring up Jose Ayala, the center fielder, who's 0 for 3 tonight. First pitch to Jose Ayala is in for a strike. on the inside corner for strike 2. First baseman Corey Waters now not holding Luis Ayala on at first, back behind him. Couple of strides. Outfielders playing straight away. Swing and a miss, strike 3. On a slider that broke out of the strike zone, and Jose Ayala couldn't hold up. 2 away here in the top of the 9th. And the 57s are down to their last gasp, their last out. And it'll be the pitcher, Braxton Vale, who started the game in left field and came on to pitch back in the bottom of the 7th inning. Martinez's first pitch is fouled up and out of play. One strike. Up high, ball 1, 1-1. Clavert Martina, the 5th pitcher of the night for the Saskatoon Berries, trying to finish this one off tonight. Fouled off again by Braxton Vale. That's into the parking lot and misses cars. It continually amazes me how often a ball gets hit foul into that parking lot up to our left. And there's cars out there and somehow the ball doesn't hit them. It's like it has eyes. 2 strikes, 1-2 pitch. Line down the right field line, and that's a base hit. Luis Ayala was running with the pitch. He is going to score the ball all the way into the far corner. Vale is turning second and heading for third, and he will dive in with a triple. A run-scoring triple that makes it 9-3 for the Saskatoon Berries. And will bring David Jinks, the left fielder, to the plate for the first time as he replaced the DH Ethan Bailey when Braxton Vale went from left field to pitcher. So that's the 3rd run of the night for the Swift Current 57s. They trail 9-3. Now the ball gets away from the catcher Sorensen, and coming in to score is Braxton Vale to make it 9-4 on the wild pitch. So a 1-0 count on David Jinks. Couple of runs here in the top of the 9th for the Swift Current 57s against their former teammate Clavert Martina, on to pitch the 9th inning for the Berries. One 0 to Jinks. Hit on the ground towards shortstop. Nathan Houston picks it, throw on to first in time, and that is the ball game. The Saskatoon Berries make it 3 straight wins as they defeat the Swift Current 57s tonight by a score of 9-4. In the top of the 9th inning for the Swift Current 57s, they scored 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no Berries errors and nobody left on base. We'll have the final totals when we come back in 60 seconds time. But a 9-4 win for the Saskatoon Berries tonight over the Swift Current 57s. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. All right, Les Lazaruk back to wrap it up here from Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Another success for the Saskatoon Berries here on their home diamond as they defeat the Swift Current 57s by a final score of 9-4. Here are your final totals from tonight for the Berries. 9 runs on 12 hits. They committed 1 error and left 10 runners on base. For the Swift Current 57s, they scored 4 runs on 6 hits. They committed 4 errors. They left 6 runners on base. The winning pitcher is Dallin Rude in relief. Robert Bonilla pitched only 4 innings. You need 5 in order to get credit for a victory as a starter in a 9-inning game. Rude, with a 3 batters faced in the 5th inning, was in the lead when he came out of the ball game, so he is the winning pitcher tonight. And the losing pitcher is the Swift Current starter, Nkosi Ditter. The Berries were led offensively by first baseman Corey Waters, who had 3 hits and 5 at-bats. He hit a home run, had 4 runs batted in. Ethan Murdoch, Swift Current product, was 1 for 3 tonight. He had a 2-run homer in the 1st inning. Those are the big hitters tonight for the Saskatoon Berries. As Robert Bonilla started, Dallin Rude, the winning pitcher, the loser, Nkosi Ditter. Attendance tonight, 1,214, and the game ran 2 hours and 37 minutes. So Saskatoon 9, Swift Current 4. Berries improved to 3-1, 3 straight wins, 2-0 at home. The 57s are 0-5 to start the year and are 0-3 on the road. Again, next action is tomorrow night, right back here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. The Saskatoon Berries taking on the Fort McMurray Giants. They'll play them tomorrow night and Wednesday night. 2-game series for Fort Mac coming into town. And we'll be on at 7 o'clock with the play-by-play here on FloCollege tomorrow night. So on behalf of all the staff with FloCollege, on behalf of our Saskatoon Berries staff, I'm Les Lazaruk. We'll talk to you again tomorrow night as you've been watching Berries baseball.